is very important. The topic is Kagyu lineage, and let's chant the lineage prayer so that we can receive a blessing. So before we chant the lineage prayer, I would like everybody think about bodhicitta, thinking that today's teaching is for the benefit of all sentient beings, whether it's a curriculum teaching, whether it's practice, individual practice, whether it's group practice. Without bodhicitta, then Dharma becomes like partial or like not in essence. So please think of all beings. And in order to master bodhicitta, compassion, it is essential. It is extremely important to pray to the lineage, the gurus, seeking for their blessing. And let's chant the lineage prayer. I will chant a little faster so that we can cover more teachings. Yubon zena namdara janjala shela ganje gombra sambaje shena gala jaje me bada dendre dada jebe ganjel Yegre jamba me vra janjela maga ganje gobra sombaje Mela de ganje vela mala janda zovande be ganjela Chame maga jara janjela yeme ganje ngoya sombaje Kanchara dobe ngo so mande maje de granjo be ganjela Ganja lo don jara janjela nanda ngo jigra zambaje Jaya Maya Jaya Chavala Mangaro Braja Ganjela Konde Yeme Dobra Janjela Jeva Ganda Yandala Manda Rame Jeje Bala Lan Jeje Sadon lanje yandera zone toje jange o yondo yo Padin zawa lama ramboje lagi jo beda de la kadin chembo gone yonde kosom to yungo rozada Kama bhajan, Kama bhajan, Kama bhajan, Oh, thank you so much, everybody, for taking your time and joining this ongoing KTD's program. Uh, uh, Different topics, and my topic is Kamakaju lineage, and I supposed to teach end of this month, but I kind of replacing one of our Lama has to go to center and busy, and so I consider this is my fortune. Even talk about His Holiness Kamapa and such lineage. And I would like to kind of divide into 5 topics. And the first is sources of Kamakaji lineage. And sometimes we call Kamakaji lineage, sometimes we call Kamtsong Kaji lineage, and sometimes it writes as the black hat lineage. And of course, the source of lineage, any lineage, including Kamakaji lineage, is Lord Buddha. That is extremely important to mention because without Lord Buddha appear in this world, and without giving his teaching, there won't be any lineages, not even mention about Kamakaji lineage. So that's why 2000, almost 600 years ago, there was this Prince Datta, and I know all of you know the history, and this is very typical, this is very common, but once again, we are extremely fortunate to even mention about Lord Buddha. And Lord Buddha wasn't someone that was already had the power to achieve enlightenment. Lord Buddha was not someone uh, uh, religious-wise, his family-wise was very special. His mind wasn't very special. However, he become enlightened simply because he discovered that even though he was such a prince, he was very respected, absolutely, because he was a prince of such a powerful king, and was really enjoying every 5 desirable objects that we can think of, we can dream of. But then he discovered this impermanence. There was something constantly changing, even though his subjects, generals, everybody tried to hide this, suffering of samsara, because they don't want him to become a monk or such, or renounce from samsara. But of course, it is like a piece of food left in the fridge for a long time, and we just keep closing that door, but still smells until we discover and clean it up. So that's what Lord Buddha discovered. At that time, of course, he wasn't a Buddha. He was just a prince, and Prince Siddhartha. And so then he basically asked his attendant that, everything what I witnessed, such as people's sickness, uh, people's death, people's, everything changed. It is something could happen to me, especially will I die as a prince? That's a really powerful question because, sometimes you might think you're exceptional. So he was quite smart. And so when he asked that question, and his attendant, you know, couldn't make it up. He just basically said, with respect, you are no different from others. Eventually, excuse me. Eventually, you're going to also die. And then Prince Datta was very also courageous that he wants to find happiness that will last forever. Happiness forever. That is exactly everybody looking for. We all are very busy. One thing you might find from my teaching tonight, or maybe already found before, that you may not find something like a scholarly stuff from me. Because even though I went to Dharma school many years, like 5 years or something, I'm kind of so used to with my, you know, what's the word? Um, there's no word. My uh, special teacher, late Khenpo Rinpoche, and Rinpoche's every teaching he gave so practical. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be so practical, because practical means that someone has to have certain experience which I don't have. And basically what I'm saying to you is that I'm not scholarly. So I may not have all these facts and figures and numbers, all of those, but I will just, share some of understanding and throughout Rinpoche's blessing, past 22 years receiving teaching, and it's so that's what everybody looking for. Everybody looking for happiness forever. So Prince Datta then traveled seeking for teachers and looking for path, and he discovered many different methods and teachers and teaching yoga and all kind of variety of the methods, but nothing really satisfied him, because he discovered there's always some kind of fixation on something, and then he decided to meditate, and like 6 years at the river Niranjana, and he achieved enlightenment, which means that he discovered that every sentient being has this what we call Buddha nature. The enlightened mind. And so he achieved enlightenment, and then he began to give teaching, and then teaching to different audience. That's why he has given teaching like the first wheel of Dharma, second wheel of Dharma, third wheel of Dharma. And basically how to deal with poison, how to deal with our negative thoughts, how to deal with our stress. And beginners basically abandoning the cause of stress, emotions, negative emotions, try to run away from those conditions. That's for beginners. And as their teachings talk about, the moment you experience negative emotions, you do not maintain it, do not follow it, simply run away, just like a snake jump on you. And nobody will just, oh, this is, very beautiful. I want to keep this snake. No, everybody just panic and jumps, right? And then so second path, Mahayana path, Buddha also gave teaching about how to deal with negative emotions in compassionate way. So when you experience negative emotions, instead of escaping, instead of seeing something so negative, then transform into compassion. There are so many sentient beings, just like we did beginning of teaching, that this teaching is for the benefit of all sentient beings. There are so many suffering going on. And so instead of trying to run away from negative thoughts, simply utilize this negative thought, taking suffering of other sentient beings, and also recognizing if you cannot transform into compassion, also you think about, oh, this is not just a random condition. This is the consequence of our own negative actions, negative thoughts before. So we are extremely happy, we are able to purify negative karma through this suffering. So we did see suffering something transforming. And of course, Vajrayana path, then you don't see suffering as suffering. You don't see stress as stress. You simply see a manifestation of wisdom, as it is we just taught. That is, it's taught in lineage prayer. Everything a manifestation of Dharmakaya. So then Buddha Shakyamuni taught his teachings to his disciples. That continued, and of course we, our own lineage, we have Vajradhara, we all know, then Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Mila, Gambopa, and then Lord Gambopa, who was at present when Buddha gave teaching, especially when Buddha asked all his audience, who can flourish, who can spread the teaching of Samadhi Sutra, Do Tinzin Japo Samadhi Sutra, which is the source of Mahamudra lineage, the source of Mahamudra teachings, both Sutric teaching and Tantric teachings. And so then the youthful moon division, which were at the time as a manifesting as a bodhisattva, and that was Lord Gambopa, arose from his seat, said that I will manifest and flourish the king of Samadhi Sutra. And at the same time, there were 500 other bodhisattvas arise, said that we will support and we will practice and support the youthful moon And at the same time, also arose the guardians and the other Nagas such said that we will protect this teaching when they flourish. Of course, when you give such teaching or like Samadhi Sutra, there can be some obstacles, and those spirits and the four guardian kings, everybody said we will protect that. So that is then later manifested as Lord Gambopa. So because we are talking about Kamakaju lineage, I can't go through all the lineage masters, but Gambopa was the teacher of the source of Kamakaju lineage. Gambopa was the teacher of first Kamapa to Samchemba. So Lord Gambopa had very special three kambas. Kamba is come from Eastern Tibet. That is in Tibetan, Saton Shogam, later manifested as the great master Pali Rinpoche, and then Kamba Dojo, later manifested the Pamo Tupa, the source of all the four and the other branch Kaji lineage, and then lastly Kamba Use. Kamba Use means Kamba is his name. Is where he come from, Kam area. Use means had a little gray hair, like his hair is a little gray. And so that was the first Kamapa to Samchemba. And among all the disciples of Gambupa, and the first Kamapa to Samchemba was Kamba Use, was the most diligent in practice. He then after he relied on Lord Gambupa, and he manifested his teachings, especially he meditated in various various caves and Gambo Neno and all different places. And so that's the source of our Karma Kagyu lineage, known as Karma Kagyu lineage. Karma, of course, is Karmapa's name. And Karmapa is not a Tibetan name, it is a Sanskrit, which states in the different sutras that there will be a master name starts with Karma Pa, which means the manifestation of all the activity of Buddhas. Karma, sometimes even when at centers we say, let's do Karma Yoga. So it's an activity. Known as Kamapa to Samchemba, which means a Kamapa who knows 3 times the past, future, and present. Because I have mentioned that the Samadhi Sutra, and which was taught by Lord Gambopa, taught by Buddha, spread by Lord Gambopa, at the time of the Buddha, and later on, Lord Gambopa, 11th century, he also emphasized. And in that Samadhi Sutra mentioned that by Buddha, after I pass, 2000 after I pass, there will be teaching of Buddha in the red face of Tibet, becomes the Avalokiti Shoraba's disciples, and end of, not really end, when there's the degeneration time, there will appear a bodhisattva known as Lion's Roar. And his Lion's Roar of Karmapa. Karmapa of Lion's Roar. Because the reason why Karmapa also part of his name as Lion's Roar is because he's going to become the fifth Buddha, the Buddha Lion's Roar. And sorry, the sixth Buddha. Among the the fortune, the 1,000 Buddhas. The current Buddha is fourth, and then Mathya Buddha is the fifth, and his own Karmapa manifests as a Buddha, and the sixth Buddha, the Lion's Roar. And also the Tantra known as the blazing iron, the wrathful blazing iron, says that, excuse me, the pure mandala of the 10 directions of the Buddhas are deviated or embodied into one. And in order to show the achievement of Siddha within one lifetime, there is a bodhisattva known as Karmapa. So these are, come from sutras. And then also the second Buddha, that is Guru Rinpoche, Guru Pema Sambhava, sometimes we call him second Buddha, said that a master who carries the activity of Avalokiteshvara Cheneze, and his name is Tusamchemba, someone knows 3 times, at Tsubo, so which means Guru Rinpoche also prophesied Karmapa's, the first Karmapa Tusamchemba, seat, the Tsubo monastery. And then the prophesy continued, says the mark or sign of magnetizing, carrying the magnetizing activity, he will be wearing a black hat, which represents the family of magnetizing. And within any second, every second, he liberates innumerable sentient beings. It doesn't say every day, it doesn't say every month, but every second. And because there are many teachings about his own Karmapa, there are many manifestations, emanations everywhere. Of course, in this world, throughout the reincarnation of Karmapa, from the first Karmapa to Samchemba, and all the way, the one who recognizes, there will be only one. For example, like the 17th Karmapa was recognized by himself. We might say he was recognized by Siddha Rinpoche, his teacher, excuse me, etc. But it was basically recognized by the 16th Karmapa, which they did throughout their lives. Left detail, roadmap, detail explanation about which year he's going to be born, what kind of signs they will occur, what kind of how many family members in his family, what's the name of his parents, who's going to be his relative teacher. When I say relative teacher, relatively he manifests, he has to study, receiving, teaching, everything. So that's why he's on the 17th Karmapa purposely, intentionally went to India to receive the transmission from his teachers. And in his recognition, talk about his main teacher will be the Taisi Rinpoche, his name is Taisi Rinpoche, but also the Jalsa Rinpoche is one of his teachers, so he came to receive all the teachings. So that's why the His Eminence Taisi Rinpoche discovered the letter that was left by the 16th Karmapa. So which means that Karmapa's recognition, recognized by himself, somebody has to carry that mission, or somebody has to find the reincarnation, which is they just, it's like, we go somewhere and we just put the roadmap, the address in your GPS, right? You might use Google. Some people complain about Google, they get confused, but I think distance, Google's good. Google's pretty good in like New York City or such, right? And Waze, I also use Waze when you go distance. That's an example. So we just simply use those road maps and then we follow. Likewise, His Holiness, they'll just to follow His Holiness prediction letter. And also the great master it continues about his the great master, sorry, the Chujilimba, the in his prophecy talk about the first Karmapa to Sonchemba all the way to 17th Karmapa, who and 17th Karmapa, like Ujin Tinin Doje, he has a part of Guru Rinpoche name. It's not because it's Siddha Rinpoche or Jatsa Rinpoche newly named. It was already mentioned in the prophecies that his name will be part of Ujin. That's why Ujin Tinin Doje. So that is when I mentioned I have 5 topics for this teaching, and I talk slow, I can't talk fast. So you guys have to have some patience. Thank you for your patience. And then, so that's the source of Karma Kagyu lineage, Karma, Kagyu, Karma, and then part of which one is Karmapa, the first Karmapa to some chamber. And then Kagyu is literally means the transmission of Buddha's teaching, Kagyu. Kagyu can be any, sometimes like not Karma Kagyu lineage, sometimes some others like Kagyu. It doesn't always mean like Karma Kagyu, like our lineage, but lineage of the transmission of Buddha's teaching. And then sometimes this particular Karma Kagyu lineage means Karmapa to some chamber who, all the teachings brought, received from Gambopa, transmitted, and then sometimes we call Kamtsong Kagyu lineage. Kamtsong, it basically means Kamtsong means it's the source of lineage come from Kambo, Kam in Tibetan. Kamtsong Kagyu lineage means that his Holiness Karmapa first Karmapa to Sound Chamber, as I mentioned earlier, he meditated in various places, sacred places, and one is called Kambo Nena in Kam area. Kambo Neno is in Utsong area, and where he meditated, and then Kamtsong means like all this lineage come through that Kamtsong. So sometimes the Kamtsong lineage, it's also part of the name of the place where he practiced. So Kamakaju lineage, Kamtsong Kaju lineage, and then. After he practiced many years, especially in his this prayers or to the first Karmapa Samchemba. And when he saw Gambopa, he practiced many places, but once he saw Gambopa, he took to the Jembra Pip, means that the moment he received teaching from Lord Gambopa, his Dhammakaya basically rise, because we have to use word to describe, his Dhammakaya nakedly recognized. That's what it means. When he received teaching from Gambopa, and from then on, it says that he has no day and night, always in meditation of clear light. So then, of course, after Karmapa Samchemba passed away, then the recognition of the second Karmapa, who became, the teacher of many Chinese emperors, and his teaching was far and wide in Mongol and in China. And then the third Karmapa, all the way to the 17th Jang Karmapa, Ojiten Doje. So that how Kamakaju lineage started. And then, of course, his hard disciples such as the Shama Rinpoche, Siddha Rinpoche, Gyatso Rinpoche, Teho Rinpoche, and Pao Rinpoche, those are men disciples who become teacher to each other, One sometimes Karmapa become their teacher, sometimes, such, and that's how the source of Kamakaju lineage. Now, what is the lineage within this Kamakaju lineage? That's my second topic. So you might kind of excited, oh, what is the lineage? What is Kamakaju special lineage? And there's the common lineage that what we just chanted as in the the lineage prayer. The first is, of course, we can talk about sadhanas, we talk about all of this, but terms of practical part, first is renunciation. Renunciation is extremely important. So those of us who follow the lineage, when we talk about renunciation, and never ever you think, when you practice Dharma, at times like you feel very excited, everything's going well, and you have, you go to your shrine cushion and comfortable cushion, get your coffee or tea, green tea, I don't know. People like all kind of things, maybe juice or something, and sit down and chant nicely and feel very comfortable. That is not a renunciation. That is just we are following a tradition. But the renunciation, at times, we are sick. Nothing is going our way. People complain about you. Job is not doing good. Family, there are a lot of suffering going on. That's a blessing. This lineage, if you want to follow the lineage, that when you go through such suffering, oh, that's a blessing. That's not a curse. Nobody made you suffering. It's just a beautiful blessing. Finally, you have a suffering, and then you begin to awake. When you experience suffering, either you are destroyed by suffering or you utilize this beautiful Dharma. So that's where you practice impermanence. Beautiful practice, impermanence. Suffering does not stay there forever. So you are, oh, it's just a suffering. No, it's just impermanence. I'm so happy I'm suffering that I can purify my negative karma. I'm so happy I'm suffering. I'm able to generate compassion to all sentient beings. I'm so happy I'm suffering. I can utilize this on my path. That's the test for practitioners. So never ever think I'm going to achieve enlightenment by simply following the greatest master you can think of. No, they cannot achieve you, make you they cannot bring you to enlightenment. But simple practice, as long as you follow actual practice, that's where the enlightenment comes. When there's like when there's Kambrumbach's disciples, when the Kambrumbach passed away, everybody's, of course, we all sad. Everybody wants to find different teacher. No, I say not necessary. Just utilize, practice what he taught. That is everything about renunciation. So renunciation is extremely important. So, when you suffer, we all suffer. So please don't consider this something bad, something to avoid, and utilize that. That's how renunciation arises. Second, is the devotion. Devotion is extremely important. As it's taught here, the devotion is your head of your human body. Without head, you cannot function. So devotion is so important. Everybody, oh, I have this teacher, I have that teacher. Devotion basically means it's a combined with a compassion, because when you experience suffering, you arise renunciation, natural arise compassion to all sentient beings, and then you have a devotion, outstanding devotion and tangible devotion to your teacher, because teacher will give you these pit instructions. So without their guide, you cannot arise any devotion. So devotion is extremely important. And so that is the second. And so my topic, first, the source of lineage. Second is the practice part. The common practice is renunciation and devotion, and then compassion. Once you have a renunciation and once you have devotion, compassion naturally arises, simply because when you experience such suffering, if you really utilize Dharma practice, and you naturally arise compassion to all sentient beings. No one deserves, no one looking for suffering. So you have more patience, you have more compassion to all sentient beings. If you have this ground, these are the foundation of practice. Without these foundations, never ever think that you may one day just out of luck achieve enlightenment. No, this ground foundation is extremely important. So once we have these three, devotion, renunciation, and compassion, which practiced by all of our lineage masters, our Kagyu lineage masters, first Karmapa Sachin to 7th Karmapa, especially our own current masters, or our own masters, my own teacher, Kembokata Rinpoche, and he never wasted any time. He always either helping other sentient beings or practice, or never waste. He never really, randomly every day talk about, oh, it's impermanent, let's practice. No, he is one who display what true practitioner supposed to be. And so that is my second topic. And third topic is be consistent. It's so important. Don't be an emotional practitioner. Because emotional practitioner, sometimes you have devotion, sometimes no, that's where you lose your consistency. Consistent practitioner means having renunciation, having devotion, having compassion, you have so much joy, delightful to practice. There's no excuse, there's no such thing, a burden from the practice. Be consistent. Every day, wherever you go, you always have opportunity. That's how Kagyu masters, Karma Kagyu lineage followers practiced. Be consistent. Whether it's day or night, always be mindful and practice, be consistent. And then my fourth topic is that, so through those qualities, ground practice or foundation practice, through consistent of your practice and devotion and such, and then Mahamudra, which is extremely important, especially Karma Kagyu lineage. Mahamudra is a spontaneous, I can't explain, okay, Mahamudra. I'm just only following the teachings of my teachers. Mahamudra is a spontaneous, there's no such time, there's no schedule, but having this renunciation, having devotion to Guru, especially devotion to Guru, that's the key to realize your nature of mind. When you think of Guru, people say, I have goosebumps. When you think of Guru, momentarily your mind is lost. Think of his quality, think of his teachings. That's sometimes a wonderful opportunity to awake. My teacher, Kemburumbuchi, used to say that, I probably shared this before as well, is that as a practitioner, it is extremely important to have at least a partial recognition of your nature of mind before you die. A partial recognition means that when we experience this, overwhelming thoughts, overwhelming emotions, instead of tortured by this, instead of overwhelmed, instead of looking for external things, simply utilize that. How to utilize it? Like Rinpoche used to say, these negative thoughts, emotions, never in the presence of your mind, either in the past, either in the future. So your presence of your mind is always awake. So this is something we ride on it day and night. At times we suffering, we always go with presence of mind, but we never really believed, we never really utilized, we never really tested, but simply wanting to recognize nature of mind doesn't happen. It has its own conditions. Gathering accumulation of merit day and night, making offerings, doing prostrations, never complain about Mundu practice, doing a lot of prostrations, no excuse, because you become so happy to practice. You're so happy to go through difficulties. As Malarepa mentioned, that Chutra kawa jepala, sanam padame paye, telan juchin kawala, Kadim padame paye. It says that those practitioners who go through difficulties, practice Dharma, has so much merit. And those individuals or Dharma friends who remind you practice and refresh your memories has so much kindness. So never ever think, oh, I have to practice. This is something we all go through. Or everything else, you never really think about, oh, I have to go do this and that, the worldly things. You feel like it's something random things. It's something I have to do it. But once it comes to practice, oh, I have to practice. There's something like something burden you. So that means my fourth topic is just take the opportunity. My fourth topic is consistency. I think I'm making the numbers. My fourth topic is take opportunity, which means that when you suffer, when you overwhelm your thoughts, overwhelmed by emotions, always remind yourself, you are not in presence. You are already either past or future. These thoughts are not in presence. So that's how you meditate. Direct meditation. Analytic meditation means when you experience those stresses, and you can utilize or analyze where this thought come from, what they look like, because while you analyze, your emotion state becomes weaker and lighter. But simply resting directly in that presence is very powerful. But as I mentioned, it has to have all those conditions, devotion and such. As I mentioned earlier, my teaching is not scholarly, but more like daily struggles, right? Because I really think that every one of us, no matter who you are, I've been through a lot. You probably hear more crying about my own problems from me than anybody else, because that's how I've been through up and down stress and losing Rinpoche and all kind of situation, and but still we have this beautiful teachings that we receive from our teachers, beautiful Dharma. That's inexhaustible treasure, and especially discovering that our own mind is so precious and so special. And then my last topic is it's extremely important, make aspirations. Make aspirations, meaning that may I able to recognize my nature of mind before I die, May I able to utilize my teaching, receive teachings, the teaching that I receive from my teachers. May I able to do my daily practice. Aspiration is very, very important. Simply, aspiration guides, inspires your practice. And so through this consistent aspiration, especially if you go to a holy place like KTT Monastery or India or Nepal, it's so important to make aspiration. And personally, I always chanted the Mahamudra Lineage, Mahamudra aspiration prayer wherever I go. If I see the 17th come up, I never really chance to see the 16th come up. Doesn't have to, because you have 17th come up, and you chant the Mahamudra Lineage prayer and mix your mind with him, or wherever you go. And also there's some other take rebirth in Sukha Bhadram, etc. So you have to be inspired. It is very inspiring that once you receive teaching from teacher, you don't have to go so many places. Simply, you have to be a experiential student, not someone like ideological, ideal student. Ideas good, studies always good, but never make sure don't let the study turn into something so shallow. That is not the essence. Everything you study, utilize, and practice, once you experience through the devotion of Guru, through your merit practice, maybe you experience some meditation, especially nature of mind. And that moment you have inexhaustible, unbearable compassion to all sentient beings. You be very humble. You can be very ordinary. You are seem like you are lost in samsara, but you are already so liberated within that ordinary state of life. And but that doesn't mean you will disappear in ordinary clothes. It doesn't mean you don't have to project yourself. I'm enlightened. So once you have some recognition of nature of mind, people can feel you can benefit endlessly wherever you go, whatever you teach. It can be a very ordinary talk about how's your family and when did your child go to school. That can be very ordinary, but also something very special. So anyways, I think although I would love to cover all the history of Kagyu lineage, but I thought maybe at least I talk about the first Karmapa Tsomo, some quotations from Buddha's sutras, and especially share a little practical part, which I received from my teacher, late Khenpo Rinpoche, late Trang Rinpoche, and in fact, our teacher, Khenpo Rinpoche's fifth year anniversary is on the corner. It will be on October 6th. Of course, the Tibetan calendar, lunar calendar is a little different, but it's coming very soon. And personally, I feel kind of mixture with happiness to a little bit of sadness, of course, especially looking at the leaves change. Because Rinpoche passed away when the leaves, change into beautiful color. And I'll be going to Kamala Retreat Center on October 5th and get ready, hang the prayer flags, etc. And October 6th, we all will be doing the Malarepa Guru Yoga and singing the Song of Realizations. And those of you here, you can actually, same day, you can do collect practice, you can meditate, mix your mind with those of you know Khenpo Rinpoche, and mix mind with him and meditate, especially trying to maintain your daily practice with delightful mind, not just out of a desperate or something like I'm supposed to do it, That means 9 o'clock and Yuan how long do we talk?
Oh, you have another half hour if you want.
Oh, really? Sorry. You see, I haven't taught for a long time. Okay, and I will use a few minutes about the Kamapas. Maybe you may not familiar with the other Kamapas, up till 17th Kamapa. So, for example, like they also left a lot of written known as Kambum. It's a collection teachings that are collected by disciples or attendants. And so, for example, like the first Karmapa Tsomo left about 2 volumes that he's written 2 volumes. And then the second Kamapashi, it is actually mentioned in his teachings that if everything what he wrote was maintained, it could be more than the Buddha's teaching, the Kagyu, which contains 103 volumes, and more than 100 volumes. And right now, we have about 16 volumes, because it is mentioned that a lot of his teachings are invented by, let's say, took by the gods or nagas and some other spirits, different realms. And then third Kamapa Ranjun Doje originally had about more than 30 volumes, but right now, yeah, we made it. I want to make sure that what I say here is accurate. So, so third Kamapa's alphabetically all the way to R. Yeah, actually, it's still about 30 volumes. It's still exists. And then the fourth Kamapa, Ropidoji, and he has 3 volumes. And the fifth Kamapa, Tejin Shepa, there's 1 volume. And the sixth Kamapa, Lord Tonga Tendin, has 2 volumes. And it is mentioned that his 2 volumes are very, very special among all the other volumes of Kamapas. Then the seventh Kamapa, Chuda Janso, has more than 8 volumes. He was very scholarly, beside become, such a manifest Mahasiddha. Especially, he wrote a lot of teachings about logics and used by all the lineages. And then the 8th Kamapa has more than 30 volumes. He was extremely also scholarly. Then ninth Kamapa has more than 10 volumes. For example, like ninth Kamapa wrote this very famous 3 Mahamudra texts known as pointing out Dhammakaya, dispel the ignorance, and Chukunjutsu Marumitsu, and then Ocean of Definitive Meaning. And of course, third Kamapa, he wrote on the explanation on the 8 consciousness. It's very well known and used by many traditions, and also the teaching on Buddha nature. And also the third Kamapa wrote in his teachings, of course, there are so many. It's called Kusum Ngote. It's the introduction of the 3 kayas, which is he taught about the inseparability of prana, which is the wind of and your mind teachings. And then the 10th Kamapa has 3 volumes. 8th Kamapa has 1 volume. 10th Kamapa is Chuin Doje. 8th Kamapa is Yishi Doje. And then the 12th Kamapa, Chonchi Doje, has 2 volumes. And then the 13th Kamapa, Dundu Doje, has 3 volumes. And 14th Kamapa, Tenchu Doje, 2 volumes. And the 15th Kamapa, Kacho Doje, he actually wrote, there are two different versions of printing, and luckily I myself received the entire transmission, reading transmission a few days ago, which was given by the Vajra master of Tangu Monastery, who came from Tibet, and he gave the whole transmission. And so the 16th Kamapa also have 3 volumes, including the biography or like history of his previous lives. One time he was in India, and all of a sudden he remembered he was, manifesting or born as a prince and such. So these are also a little bit, the written collection of the Kamapas. And so, do you have any questions the remaining time? What okay. What are the names of the other Kagyu lineages? There's the 4 major lineage, Kamakaju lineage, and as I mentioned that Gambopa had 3 hot disciples, the 3 Kambas, and Kamba Doja is the Pamatuba who actually brought the other lineage that we call lesser lineage or small lineage, or and so there's uh, uh, the 4 Kamakaju lineage, the 4 major ones, and we call Kagyu Cheja. It's the greater lineages, and that is Kamakaju lineage. So I will show you here. Correctly. So it's Baram Kaju lineage is one of them, and then Kamakaju 2, then we call Pod Kaju, and Sabakaju. Those are the 4 major lineages, and then there's the 8 lesser lineages, and the lesser Kaju schools is the Dragon Kaju, Drupa Kaju, Talon Kaju, I want to make sure I say this correctly. So the first Dragon Kaju, second Talon Kaju, third Hopu Kaju, fourth Drupa Kaju, fifth Matson Kaju, sixth Yepa Kaju, seventh Yazon Kaju, and last is Shuse Kaju. So these are the names. And then next question, how does the guru-student relationship form or begin? I think there isn't any like protocol, and I just borrow my teacher's instruction. Someone asked him, how do we know if I find a teacher? And Rinpoche used to say two ways. One is that when you meet the teacher, you have a sense of knowing, or something like you know this teacher before. Almost like, right away there's a connection. And Rinpoche used to say that is must be some karmic relationship, can be your teacher. And the second is a kind of typical way, like you analyze what did the teacher practice when he teach. Uh, the other one is I think I also used to share this. Like someone asked, "What's the definition of teacher?" Which used to say, "Oh, someone has samaya with their lineage and someone done practice, especially have a bodhicitta, so that is considered good teacher." So this is, as I mentioned, there isn't any kind of protocol. Simply the students feels like connection with teacher, or through you analyze their teaching and you're able to see a teacher. So that's first finding teacher. After you find a teacher, and then the main thing is follow the teaching practice, whatever the teacher taught, because you can ask all kind of questions, and sometimes if you don't experience a little about the practice, then everything becomes question. The more you ask questions, then it becomes frustrating. But if you really follow a teacher and you practice sincerely, maybe you experience a little bit, and then everything what teacher taught makes sense. The next says, could you explain transmissions? It is some energy intellectual. Transmission is like it's all about lineage. That Buddhism is all about lineage, which means that Buddha gave teaching to his disciples, then that transmitted all the way to your current teacher, and we don't really practice without transmission, which means teacher. For example, if you practice a particular text, they give you reading transmission, then instruction on how to practice, how to visualize. Then after you do that, you ask questions to teacher, and then they will answer such. And so it is a transmission of the teacher to disciple. In terms of energy can be blessing. The teacher teaches you something, and then you feel experience we call blessing. So next it says the difference of the 217 Karmapas, and is the lineage and teaching the same? Yeah, I think the teaching, it's all Kamakaji lineage. It's exactly the same. That is end with that. Yeah. And since we still have some time, and I also would like to explain a little bit of the Karmapas, the incarnations, such as like duration, when they uh, appear, or when they were born, and when they pass. So you kind of see how long they lived. So first, Karmapa Chemba, he was born on 11:10. That sounds like 11:10 p.m. or something. So I don't know how to explain very well. I told you I'm not good about numbers and facts and the figures. So 1110 1110. So 1100, 10, something like that. And so he passed away 1193. That was first Karmapa Samchemba. And the second Karmapa Ashe was born 1204. I hope I'm not going to confuse you. 1204. And then it's past 1283. So it's all be recorded. So then the third Karmapa was born 1284. 1284 and passed away 1339. Then fourth Karmapa, some of these Karmapas lived very short, like 20s sometimes. The fourth Karmapa, the birth is 1340 and the passing nirvana is 1383. Fifth Karmapa, birth is 1384 and pass 1415. And then the fifth Karmapa, birth is 1416 and his nirvana time is 1453. 17th Karmapa 1454 and his passing is 1406. 8th Karmapa, birth was 1507 and his passing is 1554. The 9th Karmapa, birth is 1556 and his passing is 1603. And 10th Karmapa 1604, his birth, and his passing is 1674. The 11th Karmapa Ishidoje 1676, his birth, and passed 1702. And then 12th Karmapa Chanchu Doje, birth was 1703, 17, that's 1703, and passed 1732. He lived very short life. Then 13th Karmapa is 1733 and is passing 1797. And then the 14th Karmapa, birth was 1798. They passed 1868. 15th Karmapa was born 1871, passed 1922. And then 16th Karmapa was born exactly same year as Kembrumbachi, 1924. Oh, this is so easy, 1924. I can't go beyond that because I enjoyed on 1924, and then he passed in 1981. So Kembrumbachi passed in 1996. And then 17th Karmapa was born 1985. So these are the birth dates and passing nirvana dates. And so that's pretty much, I think I left one part that I wanted to mention, just only names, not details, which is, of course, the uncommon practice, Mahamudra, I a little bit mentioned, but also the 6 Dhammas from Naropa, which is only taught in 3 retreat, and all the Idam deities. Those are very, very sacred and profound teachings of Kagyu lineage, and those can be explained in different way. And so I guess that's pretty much. And if I don't see any questions, and we may do the dedication.
There is one more question.
It's interesting. I don't see in chat. Let's see. I want
Yeah.
to read it. I want to read the chat. Let's see. Does I don't see it.
Does that mean there is only one 17th His Holiness Karmapa exist in the world? Others are not true? And then adds, if
Oh, I
it's
see.
late to ask.
I think throughout His Holiness Kamapas, I can't comment on that, but all of the Kamapas was enthroned from first to all the way to 17th in Subu Monastery. That was, always followed, and also the recognition and prediction talk about the current Kamapas teacher being the Siddharumbuche, and also His Holiness Dalai Lama had a visionary about the whole details about where the 17th Karmapa was born, etc. So, because that's why, the 17th Karmapa origin, Trillion Doji, even like his origin name was there, we consider the unmistakable reincarnation of the 16th Karmapa. And, so then I don't know. I don't have the realization. I don't have the vision. I don't have anything else. But for me, this is my understanding. And so I'm sure there are a lot of, as I mentioned, like it come up, Machidoji mentioned that there are like millions of kamapas everywhere. They may manifest as a female, sometimes animals to benefit other sentient beings, but the actual who holds the name in this very human realm is would be one. I thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for your patience listening my mumbo jumbo. But this is I hope I didn't waste your time. And personally, I'm so honored to even talk about this, having the fortune to do this. This is once again the blessing of lineage, especially my teachers. And I'm so thankful. I offer all this merit to my peerless teachers, 17th Young Kamapa, especially late Kagyu Rinpoche, especially my Guru Kembokanta Rinpoche. And this is the highest offering to please your Guru. And also, we dedicate this merit to all sentient beings. And there are so many suffering happening in this world, or these wars and natural destructions, so many things happening. Our prayer matters. Any mantra you recite matters. So we pray for all of them. May there be peace and prosperity, especially those of us who join here, including myself, able to maintain our daily practice. That's extremely important. So let's dedicate the merit first to chant the long life prayer of His Holiness Kamapa, and then the dedication prayers. Yuan Tin La, now it's your show. Jaga Ninja Rosa Gama Ba Jaga Tele Jeda Gama Jaga Danza Wanga Gama Ba Ojen Ronda Tele Jade Zo Sananda Ye Tanje Zeba Nye Tane Nye Ba Dana Banje Chega na che balan droga ye sepe zolen droga nyo dro sho jambala ba chedra jemba don ganda zamba de yon de ye Teta ganje jeza dala jenge wa de da dam je ra de mo sanje ga za ni be jala da chu ni men je dem be jala kende me zen dem be jala je je dra ngo wa me lan do bra jo de je le ja ja ve tele ba ga ma ba de dem be ni bo Chandra Ganja Jaja Jima Jada Bara Bebe Traji Sho. 谢谢 Thank you to JJ everybody.